This week on Breaking Utopia, 5 girls leave their utopian. Where were Shaker communities located?
In 1774, Shakers had moved to New England, and Shakerism had spread through the eastern parts of the United States. By the time of the leader's death, Shakerism had spread through New York, Connecticut, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and Maine.
Who influenced or created the Shaker Society? The original creators of the Shakers were James and Jane Wardley. A woman named Anne Lee became a follower of the Wardleys. She became actively involved in Wardley's group and later became their leader. Elizabeth, what does your society believe?
As Shakers, we believe that sexual intercourse was the root of all sin, and the only way to truly serve God was to be celibate. We also believe that Christ was represented equally by both men and women who lived on earth. As a result, we started calling Anna Lee Mother. We believe that she represented the woman version of Christ on earth. We also believe it was extremely important to confess our sins and also separate ourselves from outside societies.
Where are the Oneida communities located?
The Oneida community was located in what is today Oneida, New York.
When was your society first created?
The Oneida community was formed in 1848.
Who influenced or created your society and what did they believe in?
Our community believed that Jesus returned in 70 AD, bringing about the millennial kingdom, allowing for the world to be free of sin and perfect. So this allowed for the idea of perfectionism. And so everyone in our community had to go through a difficult screening process to be declared perfect. And once you were declared perfect, that's when you could engage in a complex marriage, which is basically that you can engage in any sexual intercourse and it wouldn't be counted as a sin.
Where is your society located?
4A is spread throughout the United States through Ohio, present-day Texas, New Jersey, Massachusetts, and New York State.
When was your society first created?
The first 4A community was established in 1840.
Who influenced or created your society?
Charles Fourier, a French philosopher, influenced the creation of these communities. Troubled by the imbalance in capitalist structures, he proposed to reorganize them into balanced structures, creating social harmony.
What does your society believe?
In Fourier's utopian vision, humankind would be able to cultivate the positive aspects of industrial capitalism while eliminating the despair that he saw in the industrial society of his time. Once the entire world had been divided into phalanxes, human society would be able to be more ordered. Phalanxes would thus be cooperative organizations where workers would ideally become part owners as well. Once the entire world had been divided into phalanxes, human society would become more ordered and harmonious. Each phalanxistry would operate efficiently and profitably by centralizing daily activities such as eating and cleaning and by assigning all other kinds of work to the people most interested in doing them. Fourier predicted that people would compete in a very friendly way, thus producing good products and without creating conflicts.
Where was your society located?
New Harmony communities were located in southern Indiana.
When was your society first created?
The New Harmony community was formed in 1825 by Robert Owen.
Who influenced your society and what did they believe in?
Robert Owen influenced our community. Robert Owen was a rationalist. Owen advocated government programs to help those living in poverty. He also advocated the funding of villages where workers would live in a comfortable housing, with good schools and a cooperative environment. In 1824, the Harmony Society called him and he bought 200,000 acres and 200 buildings in New Harmony, Indiana.
Where were the Anima societies located?
The amount of colonies were located in Iowa.
When was your society first created?
The first village was laid out in 1855. By 1863, 6 villages had been established. Each had its own farm, school, and their own craft industries.
Who influenced or created your society?
The Amana colonies were established by German-speaking European settlers who belonged to a religious group known as the Community of True Inspiration, which traces back to Heimbach, Germany, in 714. J.F. Rock and E.L. Gruber created this community and were among many Europeans who were seeking for a more meaningful religious experience that they felt these established churches would provide.
What does your society believe?
Brock and Gruber had a desire to return to the basics of Christianity. They gained popularity in the doctrines that expressed this movement. This movement is known as Pietism. For Pietists, religion was a personal experience with an emphasis on sincere humility and earnest study in the Bible. One of the many groups to emerge from Pietism was the Community of True Inspiration.
The Shaker demise is due to their practice of celibacy. This meant that they could not populate their villages by themselves.
The most famous American community to adopt Fourier's principles was Brook Farm in Massachusetts from 1841 to 1847. Other villages that adopted these principles did not last long.
What happened to the New Harmony community and why?
The New Harmony community only lasted 2 years, from 1825 to 1827. It failed due to a lack of leadership and discipline. The towns at one point became too overcrowded with not enough outposts to support its numbers. The inadequate supervision and management eventually put the community to an end.
The Oneida community was eventually abandoned. John Noyes decided to put his son, Theodore Noyes, in charge. Theodore Noyes ran the community with a tight fist, which angered a lot of people. The situation got so bad that John Noyes had to come back in charge. By the time he came back in charge, it was too late. The community had already divided into factions. In 1881, it was decided that the Oneida community was done and it was turned into a joint stock company. In March 1931, in the wake of the Great Depression, the Great Council revealed to the Amana Society that the villages were in a dreadful financial situation. A fire had damaged the woolen mill and destroyed the flour mills less than 10 years ago. This made the depression even harder for the society. Society members were also seeking more freedom.
Stop.
Society members were also seeking to have more personal freedom. Considering these problems, the society agreed to split their organizations into two parts. The non-profit Amana Church Society oversaw the spiritual needs of the community, while the for-profit Amana Society was incorporated into a joint stock company. The transition was completed in 1932 and became known as the Community of the Great Change. These colonies are still around today.